up, guys? This is the 10th episode of the Fast Break Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Sam Godsey, and to my right, I have a friend, Karen Dislin, and to my left, I have Keegan Turnbow. We have been doing a mini-series on March Madness. We have covered the West, the East, and the South so far. So today we will be doing the Midwest region. And the previous episode, we had a college obscure player from Ohio State. Y'all have any guesses?
I believe that both of us do. I most certainly do.
Before you say yours, let me write mine down.
Get some Jeopardy music queued up. There we go.
All right.
All right.
Who's your guess? First correct one.
First Kraft one.
Potentially.
This would be Mr. Aaron Kraft.
Yes, it is. And Tanner wrote down Aaron Kraft. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's
it was not,
three.
Your answer was not in the form of a question. You did not get it.
Neither was yours.
Yeah. All right, we both suck.
Now, today's obscure player of the episode reigns from Tennessee. He's a point guard, shooting guard, number 5 from 04 to 08. His second team All-American in 07-08. SEC Player of the Year in 2007. 3-time first team All-SEC in 06, 07, and 08. SEC All-Freshman Team in 2005. And he was Kentucky's Mr. Basketball in 04. This one's pretty obscure, I will admit. Do y'all have any guesses right off the bat?
Not a single damn one.
Not one right now, but I have the kind of that era of Tennessee basketball in my mind. So hopefully something pops into my brain, but right now I don't have one.
Yeah.
For some reason, when he said Tennessee, Peyton Manning popped in my head. But wrong sport, as I started off in the no.
So if y'all have any guesses, drop them in the comment box below or tweet at us. Our Twitter will also be in the description there, as well as previous episodes of this series and all other episodes. So let's hop right into it. The Midwest region, leading the pack, we got Illinois, Drexel. Who y'all got?
Illini.
Not much to talk about there. Facts. Loyola Chicago making a return, and Georgia Tech. Who y'all got there?
I have Loyola Chicago in this one. I think that they were quite underseeded in this. In the KenPom rankings, they were ranked 10, I believe. So they were very well underseeded according to those statistics. And I don't think Georgia Tech is going to stand a chance in this one.
Yeah, I like that analysis, and boy, wouldn't an all Chicago round of 32, all Illinois round of 32 matchup be sweet. And I do agree. I think Loyola Chicago had a fantastic season, but I'm going with the hot hand. Georgia Tech just won, and albeit kind of weakened already weak, but further weakened ACC. But they look pretty good. And they have the strength of schedule. They are more tested, so I'm going with the Jackets.
I'm also going with the Jackets, and to be honest, it's because of their coach. If y'all haven't seen the post-game interview after winning their tourney, go check it out. It's hilarious. But I like their coach. I like the way they're playing. I got Georgia Tech in this one. Next up, we got Tennessee versus, as Bill Walton said, from the Conference of Champions, the Oregon State Beavers. Who y'all got there?
I got to ride Bill Walton here. There's it's like, what a man for that. But from the Conference of Champions, they will be the champion of this matchup.
I agree, and for the same reason I was kind of going with Georgia Tech. They got the hot hand, just won conference championship. Not just a conference championship, the conference championship. I'm going with Beavers.
I actually like the Volunteers in this one. Keon Johnson has been playing pretty well lately. I got the Volunteers in this one.
You're gonna get a call from
The one's on his Oregon State team in his Final Five. Yes, Final Five. He has 5 teams in the finals, not 4. Shout out Dave Pash on that one.
Oh,
Next up, we got Oklahoma State Liberty. Who y'all got there?
nah, not close. Oklahoma State.
Yeah, Oklahoma.
See,
Go Folks.
Liberty was a team that I had circled, kind of like that I mentioned back in the first episode with USC that I thought maybe could make a little noise. Then I saw their matchup, and they are playing who I think is the most underseeded team in the bracket. I don't think that's quite a unique take, but Oklahoma State playing too good right now, too good a team, best or one of the most skilled players in the bracket. I'm going with the Cowboys.
I also have Oklahoma State in this one. I think, like you said, they have one of the best players in Kate Cunningham, and he has been playing tremendous all throughout the Big 12 tournament and the season. So yeah, I got Post in this one. Next up, we have San Diego State versus Cuse. Who y'all got there?
In this particular matchup, I'm gonna roll with the Qs here. When you do just enough to make it to the tournament, all you need is a little bit of spark. I think Jim Boeheim is going to give them just enough to pass up San Diego State.
You got in this one.
I got San Diego State. I think, to be honest, flat out, I think Syracuse in the round of 64 and Michigan State in a playing game is an absolute joke. However, I'm sure the committee wanted to give us a little treat for having to wait a year to get some March Madness basketball. But with that, SDSU, I don't think Syracuse has enough.
Yeah, I got San Diego State as well. Next matchup, we got West Virginia versus Morehead State.
West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Mount Mama.
Baby home.
No, I got West Virginia as well. Clemson Rutgers, next matchup.
I'm going with Rutgers in this one. I think that's pretty much what the same as we said with any Big Ten team. They're going to be more battle tested. They're going to be ready. They've gone against some incredibly difficult competition in their last 10 games.
Yep, I got Rutgers as well for the same reasons. Best conference. They've had a rough going against great competition, and I think they get it done against Clemson.
For all the reasons they've said, and Clemson don't like the way they've been playing, had a weird year, very up and down, very unpredictable, and very they're very unpredictable, and I think they're a little bit overseeded here. So I'm going with Scarlet Knights.
And then finally, rounding it out for the Midwest, we have Houston versus Cleveland State.
As much as I'd like to say Cleveland, this is for you. Cleveland, this is not the matchup for you. We're going with Houston.
Yeah, I got Houston as well.
Houston.
All right. So we got Illinois, either Loyola, Chicago, or Georgia Tech. Who y'all got there?
Again, not really that close. I'm going with the Illini.
Yeah.
The Illini are too good not to move to the Sweet 16.
I agree. Tennessee or Oregon State. If you're Bill Walton versus Oklahoma State. Who y'all got there?
Conference of Champions, move over. Just like we said with Illinois, Oklahoma State, Cade Cunningham, enough said. They even beat, I believe it was West Virginia without both Cade Cunningham and another one of their starters.
Yep.
It's just top to bottom, too good of a team to not make it to the Sweet 16.
Yeah. The battle of states that start with O and are black and orange, I am going to go with Cade Cunningham.
This is the region of
Cowboys.
orange. This is
So-
the region of
I have a different shade of orange playing black and orange in Tennessee, but I got the Pokes moving on because Cade Cunningham is a walking bucket. So no more need to be said there. San Diego State, Q's, or West Virginia, you go got there.
I'm gonna go with West Virginia in this one. I think that between San Diego State and Syracuse, I don't know if any of them have the talent to match up with West Virginia.
Bingo. Yep. Go Mountaineers. Take me home.
Country Road, West Virginia. Yep. Rutgers, Houston, who y'all got there?
I actually thought long and hard about this one. I'm not a big fan of Houston. I know that they had a great time rolling through their conference. Um, we've talked a lot about conference, but like when you have so many great teams in one conference, there are going to be teams that would do quite well in others that just get shafted. And Rutgers is one of these teams.
Yeah, I'm also not big on Houston. However, I'm also not big on Rutgers. I'm just lower on Clemson.
Yeah.
So that's part of the reason I went with Rutgers. So I do think Houston moves on here.
Yep, I got Houston as well.
I don't believe I actually gave a pick. I just said that Rutgers had a hard time. I am going with Houston, but I was just saying that's why I said it was a tough game.
Might have jumped the gun a little bit.
I
my
did.
bad.
No, you're good. No, I ran out of thoughts to say. I was like, yep, that's all I have to say. But I realized I didn't actually give a pick. So there you go.
All right.
Houston.
In the Sweet 16, we have Illinois, Oklahoma State. Who got there?
Now this is, we talk about much watched TV. Io DeSumo versus Cade Cunningham is must-see TV. And who wins that matchup, I do not know. But I know who will win their matchup, and Kofi Coburn will. And Illinois moves on.
That is the exact thing that I was thinking. One of these teams has Kofi Coburn, and one of these teams does not. Io DeSumo and Cade Cunningham will go back and forth. Only one of them has Coburn.
Yeah, y'all said it. I got Illinois. I just think they're a better overall team. I think AU and IU, however you say that name, versus Cade, it's going to be, as you said, must-watch TV. But I got the Fighting Illini moving on. Now we got West Virginia versus either Rutgers or Houston. Who y'all got there?
In this one, I have West Virginia and Houston, and I'll be rolling with that Mountain Mama one more time.
Yeah, I have the same matchup, West Virginia and Houston, and they're not taking us home yet. They move on.
Yeah, I got West Virginia versus Houston as well, and I got West Virginia taking another win. Now we got Illinois versus West Virginia, or Oklahoma State if they beat Illinois.
We might just say that West Virginia has reached their home because
Yeah,
they're not moving anywhere else.
Too much talent in Champaign. Too much talent. I want to move on.
yeah, I got Illinois, West Virginia. I got Illinois moving on. I think West Virginia is a little too dependent on Miles McBride, and I think this is where we see it fade out against a fantastic Fighting Illini team. So I got Illinois in the Final Four. So now, as a region, who were some of the more difficult matchups y'all had to decide between?
For me, I think the South region is by far the hardest to pick. Baylor kind of not looking so dominant down the stretch. You have teams that match up quite well against Baylor, some that we mentioned like Purdue and UNC, and even Wisconsin. And then go down to the bottom half of the bracket, to which Arkansas won 11 straight conference games before the tournament. Ohio State just made a run beating the number 1 seed Michigan and the number 2 seed in the conference. Illinois took them to overtime, didn't beat them, but a lot of talent in that bracket. So I'm just looking at the South bracket as a whole, just really hard to pick.
There's nothing more to say. I think Terrence's exactly right on this one. The South, incredibly difficult region, top to bottom. It's gonna be hard for anyone to come out. And as we said in the last episode, whoever's coming out of this region is incredibly battle tested.
Yeah, I think South was definitely most difficult to pick. Some of the matchups as a whole, I'm looking at that were very difficult for me. Texas Tech, Arkansas, I think was a very difficult matchup. It's kind of had to dive deeper into that matchup. And as well as we previously mentioned in the Midwest region, I think Illinois, Oklahoma State was a tough matchup looking at, but I think Illinois takes that one. But yeah.
Yeah, it's of my opinion that whoever comes out of Illinois and Okie State, between those two teams, that's who's gonna make an appearance in the national championship game from that half of the bracket. It's it's really a shame that Oklahoma State was seated so lowly. Because they deserve to be higher than 4.
Agreed.
Yeah, well, I think Lenardi had him, what was
3, I think.
Three.
Yeah, it was the first 3.
Yeah, but, I forgot to ask this, but do y'all see anybody likely to make a deep run in the Midwest region? For me, you can say what you want, 4 seed, you kind of said that with Purdue in the South, but Oklahoma State, if they beat Illinois, I think they're a Final Four team, but it's just getting past the Illini and that tough matchup. But I think they could make a deep run.
And I kind of agree with that, but the 2 double-digit seeds here that I like are Liberty and Oregon State. Liberty runs into Oklahoma State first round. Oregon State, if they beat Tennessee, would run into Oklahoma State second round. And I don't see either of those teams beating Oklahoma State. So if I had to go with the double-digit team, I would say Oregon State, I think, has a better chance of beating Oklahoma State than Liberty does. But I don't see it happening, and I'd say the highest seed that I see make a run here would be Oklahoma State.
Yeah, I like what you said there about both Liberty and Oregon State. If they're in a different part of this region, say where someone like Rutgers or Syracuse was seated, then I could see them going on a deep run. For the lower seeds that could have a chance of making a deep run, I will say I'll throw Rutgers out there just because I think they have the most opportunity to do so. Not necessarily because of anything that Rutgers does proficiently. If they did anything proficiently, they would be higher than the 10 seed. But with going up against Houston and West Virginia, I would most certainly like to see that rather than Oklahoma State and Illinois.
Yeah.
So watch out for somebody to emerge from the bottom half of this region. Who it's going to be, we'll have to wait and see.
Absolutely. Now we're going to dive into our Final Four. Keegan, can you talk about your Final Four matchups, who you got winning, and who you got winning it all?
I have Arkansas and Illinois in the right portion of the bracket for that Final Four matchup. And then I have Gonzaga and Alabama in the left Final Four portion. Making it to the national championship game, I have Illinois and I have Gonzaga. Battle of the ones for the national championship.
And who you got winning that one?
I have Illinois. I would take Gonzaga. Except for the
But you
fact
didn't.
I didn't. I would take Gonzaga if it wasn't for the case that I think that DeSumo brings exactly what Gonzaga doesn't have an answer for. I think the one weakness, the one piece of the armor that they don't quite have equipped is their ability to play defense on a taller guard that can slash, but can also be a perimeter threat. I'm not sure that they have somebody who's quite perfect to handle him. In addition, I don't think it matters who you put on Coburn. I think that that's going to be an incredibly difficult matchup on the defensive end for whoever guards him, whether it's Tim or whoever else they decide to throw out there. I think Illinois has just what Gonzaga can't handle. And for that reason, in that one particular night, April 5th, I believe, I will have Illinois.
Tanner, who you got in your Final Four?
Just out of curiosity, I'm just curious, how tall is Io, and I wonder how tall Jalen Suggs is too, because he's pretty tall.
I don't think that Suggs, I'm not sure how tall Suggs is. I just don't know if Suggs can bring on the defensive end what is going to slow down the senior. Are they the same height? I imagine you would know. Maybe.
I know Suggs is a tall guard.
Yeah.
I think IU might have him by a couple inches at most.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So beware of the masked mamba.
All right, Tanner.
My Final Four.
Who you got?
On the right side of the bracket from the south, I got the Baylor Bears, and in the Midwest, I have Illinois. That matchup, again, incredibly difficult to predict. But I think Kofi Coburn goes for 40 in this game because Baylor does not stop him. But I am going with the harder bracket and the second best team for longer this year, and I'm going with Baylor in the national championship game. Then over on the left side, I have Gonzaga in Texas, and I think Gonzaga wins comfortably. That leaves the Gonzaga-Baylor national championship, and Gonzaga is the first team to complete the undefeated season since 1976, and Mark Few gets his championship.
Yeah, so I have Gonzaga, Texas, and Arkansas and Illinois. I got Gonzaga, Illinois, meeting in the ship. I got Zaga. I'm gonna go a little different route. You said Illinois because of Kofi on Illinois. I think Gonzaga is just faster, and Kofi's gonna struggle with that. And I think Gonzaga is just gonna run him off the floor. To be honest, like we saw when they played Iowa, they kind of ran Garza out, and Garza was gassed, given those quite a few months ago. But yeah.
I'm very interested to see how that works with Kofi, because if you remember against Iowa, Garza had like 36, and they just kind of said, you know, you're gonna get yours, so we're gonna let you get yours, but no one else is gonna get theirs.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked, and Iowa struggled to score without getting Garza a touch, and that ended up being different.
So so you say Kofi Cockburn is going to be the reason Baylor loses?
No, I said Baylor's gonna win.
Sorry,
Baylor's gonna win, but Coburn's gonna have 40 because Baylor's just gonna have no answer there. But I think they're able to tame the Illinois backcourt with their backcourt, and I got theirs.
I understand that. Well, it was a fun time talking March Madness. That concludes our mini series of Bracket Mania, if you will. It's been fun. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. I'll have our Twitter in the description, previous episodes of this series in the description as well. And look forward to the tip-off of March Madness. Thanks for tuning in.